You know how everyone says, don't go on the apps, go up to people in person, go up to people in person, go up to people in person. Well, I did that, okay? And it blew up in my face in the most humbling way I think possible. So I saw this guy out. I'm not going to say where, but let's just say we have a lot in common. Um, I saw him a couple times and I thought he was really cute. So I went up to him in broad fucking daylight because I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, let's just see what happens. And I start like asking him questions, like asking him his name and like where he's from and stuff. And then he like asks me my name and we end up exchanging numbers. And the conversation went great, yada yada. After we exchanged numbers, within an hour, he texts me asking me out. So we start planning a date. We go back and forth a little bit. And I guess, I mean, we were both like super busy, but the last thing I had said was, what about Saturday? Because we had like gone back and forth a little bit trying to plan a date before that. But then I was like, okay, what about Saturday? He never responds to the message. This was like maybe a month ago at this point. He never responds to the message. Okay, like whatever. Annoying, but like whatever. Fine. Then he had followed me on Instagram. Okay, this was the other confusing part. Is he had followed me on Instagram like right at the same time as he had messaged me asking me out. So it was just like confusing. Like, why would you ask me out, follow up after our in-person conversation, ask me out, and follow me on Instagram if you didn't actually like want to go out with me? Anyways, he follows me on Instagram, and after he like didn't respond to my message for like weeks, he was like still following me for a little bit. I for some reason am looking around the other day and I see that he has unfollowed me on Instagram, which I'm like, you're the one who followed me in the first place. Like, what? What? So not only did I get ghosted, I got humbled so bad.
I am sick of trying to date at this big age, and no one fucking tells you how disappointing it is. I started talking to someone sort of October time, and we got on so well. My God, he made me laugh. And unfortunately, he decided that he didn't think that the fact that I had kids would like align with his life. And so we stopped talking, and it fucking hurt. And then he reached out a little while after, so I got my hopes up again. And then he kind of like backed off. And then I actually bumped into him in person, and again we started messaging. And then tonight he has just messaged me saying that he's now started like dating someone else, so thinks it's like we shouldn't really talk anymore. And I just feel like I'm never the one, you know. I'm always like the one before the one, or the one that's like to have fun with. And it's like, I don't want to have fun. Like I want to be someone's person, and I want to find my person. And like, what is it that, like, you know, I'm so caring and I put my heart out and I would do anything for anyone, and I just feel like it's just so much like disappointment after disappointment, and you like give bits of yourself away and it's like they just take it with them. You know, like, I feel like I'm never worth the risk. I'm never, you know, like, you know, like, think of all the reasons why it would work rather than why it wouldn't work, you know. And it's like, it's always, you're amazing, you're great, you're this. Like, okay, well then, what then? Like, what is it? Like, why is it that, what, because I've got kids, I don't deserve to be loved or find love? And it just feels like every single situation I've had over the last few years, it always like ends the same way. And I'm just so fed up of putting myself out there and getting let down and like having my confidence knocked and my self-esteem. Like, so hard. And it's like, if I give up, then I'm just alone either way. So I'm like, I don't really know what the best thing to do is. I don't even know what the point of this is. I just feel like it's just so hard when like everyone around you is happy and is settled, and I'm just like stuck in this constant state of trying to put myself out there and getting myself not back again. Oh God, I hate it. Honestly, 0 stars, wouldn't recommend, avoid. Oh God, let's hope maybe dating in my 30s is better, although I don't have much hope for this. God.
She's out here acting like she just survived a battlefield because she had to do what men have been doing since the dawn of time, start a conversation. She finally took the advice to go up to him in person, and she's traumatized that it didn't end with a wedding ring and a 5-year plan. She's humbled because a guy she thought was cute treated her like a free trial he forgot to cancel. She's obsessing over the logistics of why he followed her on Instagram but didn't reply to her Saturday text. She doesn't get that for a guy. An Instagram follow is basically a bookmark, not a blood oath. He saw her, he was interested for an hour, he checked the digital goods, and then, shocker, he found something better to do on his Saturday night. The best part is her being confused that he unfollowed her. She thinks because she took the risk of asking for his name in broad daylight, he owes her a permanent spot in his feed. She's realizing that in the real world, your main character energy doesn't mean a thing if the guy realizes the conversation isn't worth the data plan.
Of course!
She's enraged and disappointed that a man looked at her situation, the night shifts, the kids, the baggage, and decided he'd rather date someone who doesn't come with a pre-installed family. She frames it as being the one before the one, like she's some kind of stepping stone in a romantic movie. In reality, she's a high-maintenance project that most men are using as a temporary pit stop while they look for a final destination. She says she's so caring and gives bits of herself away, but she's essentially trying to sell a man a subscription to a life where he's never the priority. The funniest part is the why can't they think of the reasons it would work? Because, darling, men are logical creatures. We don't look at a burning building and think, what a lovely place to store my fireworks. She thinks having kids shouldn't mean she doesn't deserve love, but she's confusing deserving love with being a viable long-term investment. She wants a man to take a risk on her, but doesn't understand that most men at her big age have already gambled enough and are just looking for a win.
True dat.
Real men of genius.